Airbnb announcing a new program called Airbnb Friendly Apartments, where they will help people find apartments that they can host on Airbnb part-time. Now, the new service will feature more than 175 buildings in over 25 markets across the U.S., including Houston, Phoenix, and Jacksonville. Now, this is an effort as Airbnb is trying to bring more hosts online. They just had their winter release that was announced mid-November 2022. And additionally, here we had spoken with Airbnb CEO Brian Chesky, who had this to say on how they're going about bringing on more rooms online in anticipation of what a recession may look like and how many hosts may lean into this optionality.
In a recession, people were willing to change their behavior. They were willing to do things they weren't willing to do before the recession, like list their home and allow other people in it. And I think this is going to be, in some ways similar to 2008. A lot of people that weren't considering hosting are probably now considering it, and hopefully the change will make it a lot easier for them.
So this is just another effort to add on, in addition to where people would have vacationed, but also just bringing more room capacity online in comparison to some of the historical Hilton plays or Marriott and how they bring on rooms online. They've got to build them out. Airbnb just has to find more hosts.
And let's talk about the biggest, innovation, if you will, in this announcement. They're going to be paying landlords directly. That is something I don't believe Airbnb has ever done before. So they have, through this, reportedly agreements with big property owners, big multifamily, aka apartment property owners like Equity Residential, who will get a 20% cut of this fee that normally just the person who's subletting would get, right? So if I'm renting from an Equity Residential and I want to Airbnb out my place, I now have to give Equity Residential 20% of that, is the understanding I have of this. So I don't know if that disincentivizes at all the fact that you're telling them that you're doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, we had
I don't know how this
very
is all going to
passionate
work
discussion
out.
on this one. We have a lot of perma-bulls on Airbnb in the control room. But Julie, I think you brought up a good point. It's not like Airbnb can come out here and just entirely upend this market. I look at my own co-op. I have to get approval before I set it up here, and that just slows up this process.
To me, not for people who own their apartments, but people who rent their apartments, who then would turn around and sublet or sublease those apartments out for Airbnb.
The actual building owner is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying if I live in a rental building and I want to then go somewhere and rent out my apartment as an Airbnb for a while, that's what this would affect. The person who lives in the apartment, I think, still does the Airbnb-ing, but then gives a cut to the building owner, if I have it right.
This sounds like a program that's going to get cut in the next recession. Let's just say that. I'll leave it there. Roll that tape back.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll see what happens.